Welcome to Base Reviews number 20. We have a doozy of a book today. We're going to be talking about Tender is the Flesh. Now, I initially read this book a couple years ago, and it was one of the grossest, most grotesque, darkest books I've ever read. And I loved it. Honestly, I've never had more emotions and guttural feelings in a book before, followed by actual verbally screaming. I did that twice in the book, and just getting used to the dark depravity that is this book, right? So there may be some vegan connotations to this book, and I, for one, do not believe in philosophical veganism. It is kind of a joke to think that animals are special. However, this book does play a little bit of the part on how greedy and demanding people are, especially when it comes to their food, and especially when it comes to when we go through our benefits for the demise of others, right? So let's just get right into the book. The whole book is about cannibalism, right? The meat on the earth is poisoned by a virus. So all animals are either dead or infected to eat. And basically the theory goes is that besides plants, which majority like 90% of the diet is, people still need those amino acids, nutrients. They resort to genetically modifying human beings and harvesting them for their meat. We follow the main character who then goes through all the factories selling their products, to leather, to organs, to donations, to dealing with people breaking in and using the cattle or the cattle carrion that is there, right? So you know exactly what's going to happen in this book. When people are below value, how are they going to be treated, right? You have everything from sexual abuse to illegalness. You have human rights. You also have all of the grotesque things of like labeling the different cuts, eating certain parts, and then eating at different ages, like we do with animals. So there's a lot of things in the book that you don't think about, and this is a very explorative book, right? There's a lot to go when the value of life isn't taken in. I think of 120 Days of Sodom for one. Another book that I have thought similarly to is, I think it's just called Cows. Very grotesque aspect. And these books, why do I read these books? I read these books because as somebody that is trying to base and be challenged, you're trying to get used to ideas, trying to be exposed to all of the emotions. And this book explores a really, really dark emotion of consumerism. Now, throughout the book, eventually the main character, gets a genetically modified female as a present. Kind of a white elephant gift, kind of a, I know what you can't do with this girl, but you have to take care of her now. And so he's very much emotionally drained and dealing with those aspects as well. Very good book, though, however. I think on a scale of 1 to 10, this book definitely should be read, right? I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about who's this book for. This book is for people that want to explore consumerism. They want to explore greed, and they want to explore their consumption and demand on other people. It's also for those that want to deal with violence, dealing with the demise of others, dealing with consumerism and nationalism as well. I think that was thrown in there for one of the reviews I saw. And lastly, this book was just great. I mean, it was dark, it was depraved. I loved it. Maybe I'm messed up in the head, maybe I'm not. I don't really care. And definitely like 7.8, right? I didn't really change my actions, but it makes you look at meat a little bit differently, and it makes you look at humans a little bit differently, right? When you start looking as humans as animals, you're starting to get a really glimpse of what makes us valuable, what we benefit from, and what we do, what we're made of as far as meat, bones, flesh, right? And that's the whole title of the book, Tender is the Flesh, right? So is that Is that the flesh itself, or is that the mind within of working within these factories? So yeah, 7.8. Definitely, I think this should be a read, but not for the faint of heart, right? If you have a weak stomach, you're gonna not want to read this book. But if you're trying to grow and if you're trying to challenge your brain and your emotional chops, then by all means, this book is going to be great for you. So that's it for today, guys. I don't have any other reviews. So thank you so much for watching, and you have yourself a great day. Thank you.